Fortaleza, Brazil, August 2005. Beneath the city's streets, one of the greatest bank robberies in modern history had already been completed, had disappeared. The target wasn't an ordinary bank. This regional branch stored emergency cash reserves. Behind concrete and steel, hundreds of millions of reais, protected by the strongest security.
The thieves knew brute force would never work. Instead, they built the perfect disguise. Just a few blocks from the bank, a small landscaping company quietly opened. To the neighborhood, it looked completely ordinary.
For nearly 3 months, the operation continued in complete secrecy. Nearly 200 tons of city, yet no one noticed. This wasn't luck, it was precision.
After months of digging, the destination was reached. Only a thick concrete floor protected the vault. One mistake could end the entire operation.
With the concrete finally removed, the impossible became reality. The thieves' climb to one of Brazil's most secure had led to this single moment, and now every second mattered.
Surprisingly, they didn't take everything. The vault contained far more cash than they could carry. Instead, they ignored, making the stolen money much harder for investigators to trace.
By dawn, the operation was almost complete. Tons of cash had been moved. Above ground, the city was waking up, unaware. One of history's greatest bank robberies had occurred. The robbery wasn't discovered immediately. It happened over the weekend. When employees returned on Monday morning, everything looked normal, until they opened the vault.
Investigators quickly realized this wasn't an ordinary robbery. The vault doors were untouched. The security systems had never been triggered. The only clue was a perfectly cut hole in the floor.
The discovery triggered one of the largest investigations in Brazil's history. Detectives weren't searching for a single thief, they were hunting an entire criminal network. For days, the gang remained invisible, but stealing millions was only half the challenge. Spending it without attracting attention proved far more difficult. One careless purchase was all investigators needed. One by one, investigators closed in. Several members of the group were arrested across Brazil, but despite months of investigations, most of the stolen money had already disappeared. Authorities recovered only a small portion of the stolen fortune. Nearly $50 million simply vanished. To this day, investigators believe much of the money has never been found. The investigation revealed something even more shocking. This wasn't the work of a few thieves. More than 30 people had taken part, each responsible for a different piece of the operation. The tunnel stretched nearly 80 meters, beneath one of Brazil's busiest cities. It looked more like a professional construction project. The bank's security had been built to stop armed attackers. Cameras watched every entrance, guards protected every door, but no one had considered an attack coming from directly beneath the vault.
Most of the stolen money was never recovered. Authorities believe it was quietly laundered through businesses, real estate, and criminal networks, disappearing without a trace.
The Fortaleza tunnel robbery exposed a weakness few had imagined. Banks had spent decades strengthening their walls and vaults, but almost no one had considered the ground beneath them.
Although many participants were arrested, investigators believe parts of the organization escaped. Some suspects vanished completely, leaving behind questions that remain unanswered decades later.
Today, thousands of people walk these streets every day. Most have no idea that beneath their feet, one of the greatest bank robberies in modern once unfolded in complete silence.
The thieves stole nearly 160 million Brazilian reais, about $70 million at the time. It remains one of the largest cash robberies ever successfully carried out. It wasn't violence that made this robbery legendary. It was patience, engineering, and discipline. The tunnel became a blueprint for one of the most sophisticated crimes the modern world has ever seen. More than money was stolen that weekend. The robbery exposed a flaw no one believed existed. Sometimes the strongest security isn't defeated by force, it's defeated by imagination. Today, the tunnel is gone, the vault is secured. Many of those responsible have long been arrested.